Hello and welcome to the 100-day art challenge. This is going to be, I don't know what submission it is. It'll be written in the description. And I am now in my own personal kind of painting curriculum that I've sorted out, where I thought I've had enough calamitous attempts at painting with oil paint that I'm going to put myself through a kind of schooling of sorts. Part of that is what I wished I would have done in university. I went to art school and I was hoping to have the experience of making drawings and paintings from life, from reference, from imagination, master's studies, all these kinds of things that would enrich your knowledge and experience with different media. But I had none of that. So what I decided to do now was to paint portraits, landscapes, still life, and do all these things myself, because that was just not provided to us, even though it would have been really easy to do. It just wasn't part of the school's curriculum. So what I'm doing here is I have a basic still life with some lemons and limes on a plate, and I thought I would use these lovely Michael Harding paints and start trying to describe them on this small square. And the reason I'm using a small square for a palette is a canvas, is because a friend of mine, Jocelyn Roberts, who will soon feature on this channel, recommended that if I want to get used to painting with oils, then to cut out small squares from MDF or whatever I have, just so that I do the broad strokes. I don't have to get too detailed with anything, just so that I get used to mixing and how the paint works. And because I'm so inexperienced with oils, that's what I decided to do, and it was a good idea. And I need to start increasing the size of the canvas after a while, because I've done quite a series of these small squares now. So I'm hoping that you will appreciate them, because I appreciate the experience. And I know they're not always the best paintings. They're very simple compared to what I was trying to show you in previous videos. I was trying to attempt landscapes, and on both those occasions of plein air painting I failed. And it's not as though I spent longer painting this because it's such a small painting and so basic as shapes. It was just that I think it was the inexperience, the pressure, and I don't know, several things which just made it go wrong. And I didn't do any better with acrylic, so I need to push through with some acrylic paint as well at some point soon. But here we are. I started by drawing out the shadow areas in a very dark brown. I've seen other artists do this, and then just work the shadow shapes in first. It's basically how I draw with ink anyway. I like to do that with ink, is just to find the shadow shapes and then let the light be the negative space that describes the remaining part of the form that I'm drawing. That's one of the techniques that I like to use. So I took to that technique quite well, I thought, or quite quickly with oil, because it seemed natural to me. And then after that I included some mid-tone, and then worked into light at the very last parts to do some highlights. And then as you can see, I'm now cutting into the outside shape with the surrounding environment. So the outside shape of the bowl is what I mean. If you need to craft any shapes of the bowl or the shadow, you always have the outside colour and shape that you are making for the background, in order to then craft that shape and sculpt it a little bit more kind of finely observed, or keenly observed I should say, than what it initially was, because sometimes I certainly make hasty decisions that I then have to try and fix later on. So that's all I'm doing now, is just tying it all together with a nice muted background colour. And I could have got something which was more complementary to the colours on the plate, and that's probably what I should have done. But I thought if I just leave everything kind of brown and muted, then the fruit should pop off the surface. And I do quite like this painting. I think it's half decent, and I certainly enjoyed the experience of doing it. So this is the first of a good series of 13 or so paintings that I do with this square canvas shape and the small pieces of wood and oil paints. So that's what's got to be coming up now. I'm basically doing these in little sub-series of the challenge. So I had the oil pastels, and then, the soft pastel week that I presented, and now it's the oil painting week, still life studies. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.